Good evening. My name is Joyce Cox, and I am the manager of the Office of Neighborhood Engagement for the Division of Housing and Community Development. And I do bring you greetings from our very own director, Ashley Cash, and Mayor Jim Strickland. We want to welcome you to our 11th how to for 2022, and that's how to start a neighborhood watch. We do know that that's one of the challenges in our city has been crime, but we have to help one another to eradicate crime. So we're just so glad to have you this evening. But I would be remiss if I did not introduce one of the best teams in the city of Memphis, and that is the one of the Office of Neighborhood Engagement, Miss Lakeisha Smith, if you will wave to us, Miss Tammy Davis, and I know she's probably called half of you guys, and Mr. Sherman Robinson. Uh, Again, good evening and welcome. We we're going to ask Mr. Robinson if he would introduce our speaker for the evening. We welcome any comments that you have in our chat area. Tell us how we're doing. But again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Sherman, take it away.
All right, good evening, everyone. I do have the pleasure of introducing our speaker, Officer Dominique McCraven, who has been an outstanding leader for the Austin Peay Station for 12 years. Officer McCraven has been responsible for assembling officers and community leaders in the Fraser and Raleigh area to help build police and community relationships. She has been volunteering with the Shelby County school systems, churches, and community partners with neighborhood watch and community outreach projects. Officer McCraven has adopted and implemented programs in several schools: Books with Blue at Westside Elementary, Blue Respect at Hawkins Mill, Good Touch, Bad Touch at Promise Academy, and Old Allen Summer Feeding. Officer McCraven is also devoted to improving education in the Fraser Raleigh area. She has been a respected community leader that has been able to help mentor and tutor children with the Books with Blue program that have raised academic scores, imagination, and understanding of the children involved. Officer McCraven partnered with Williams Noner, District Attorney General Amy Warwick, Juvenile Court Liaison Anthony Clear, and FedEx Grizzlies to promote a perfect attendance and respectable behavior at Hawkins Mills. Officer McCraven has also played a critical role in teaching and grooming victims of abuse. She has established a great relationship with the youth in the community that has given her the opportunity to educate children through a program called Good Touch, Bad Touch at Promise Academy. Further proving that Officer McCraven is a true innovator. She implemented a summer program at Old Allen stations that fed over 100 children twice a week, while bridging the gap between all youth and police. Officer McCraven showed that she understands the importance of embracing young people to help reduce juvenile violence. Officer McCraven endeavors doesn't stop here. She serves daily as an empowerment asset to the community by helping and hosting Austin Peay Memphis Police Department community programs, Easter extravaganzas, Halloween trunk or treat, Citizens Police Academy, Memphis Clergy Academy, AutoZone Fellowship, Sergeant Verdell's 5K run, Thanksgiving, and Christmas basket giveaways for feeding the homeless. Officer Dominique McCraven relentless commitment and dedication to the community through numerous volunteer efforts and her significant contributions she has made to the Memphis Police Department embodies the Memphis Police Department vision of community service. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Officer Dominique McCraven.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, tonight I'm gonna tell you I'm located at Austin P Station. That is right off of Austin P Highway 3430, Austin P. For those who don't know exactly what it is, it's the old Raleigh Springs Mall, if you can remember that area. But tonight I'm here to talk to you and share with you how to start a neighborhood watch. And I'm pretty sure they probably picked me because they said I'm really good with getting people to start and also helping to get grant money. So along with you starting a neighborhood watch, you're available and able to get grant money. And that money is $2,500. And I'll go a little bit further into that as I go along with my presentation. But I'd like to tell you at this precinct, we have Colonel Lambert Ross, Lieutenant Colonel Derek Bernard, myself as the neighborhood watch coordinator, as well as the crime analysis here, along with my helper, Officer Wayne Curry. So sometimes if you can't get in contact with me, Officer McCraven, you can please reach out to Officer Wayne Curry. Can they see the screen as well? Can everyone who on here see the screen? Okay. So yes, neighborhood watch, this kind of, and the presentation I'm showing you is also a packet you can pick up and receive once you start this neighborhood watch program. So basically the topics in this packet is what is a neighborhood watch? For those, say you're in the community and you want to talk to your neighbors and they want to know exactly what will we be doing? What are we talking about? What is our purpose? I'll explain the purpose, how to start, training, resources, and the crime prevention grant. What is a neighborhood watch? For those, we always say when something happens in your area, there's a lot of times, especially out here, when people say, hey, what can we do to lower the crime? So of course, that's one of the purposes. When you have increased crime, you want to increase your safety. You want to have a sense of your residents in your neighborhood, know who lives next door and across the street from you, so you can know when a car is lingering in your area and what we call suspicious. You need to know if you know who's in your area, you know what cars and people that don't belong. So as I tell people, it's no harm in calling the police when you see someone that's not normally in your area. Even a car, it don't have to be a person occupying a car. It can just be a vehicle that has been left there over, I'm gonna say 24, 48 hours, and you know no one has been back to check or drive this vehicle. Also, a neighborhood watch is to bridge the gap between neighbors and police. When you start a neighborhood watch group, is for us to make a relationship where you can feel comfortable calling on me, Officer McCraven. Now, all the times I'm not in the field, so you won't see me. I won't be the one to come and answer your calls, but I will be the one that can get that officer to you to answer that call, to talk to you, to maybe figure out what happened, maybe something went wrong. So it's also to build a relationship not only in the community, but with the police as well. Neighborhood watch group learns how to communicate with residents. So, we've had people, as they say, nosy neighbors, and a lot of times the nosy neighbors come off as aggressive neighbors. And so we teach you how to communicate and how to get your words or your actions and your purpose towards that neighbor who consider you a nosy neighbor. We love nosy neighbors. Nosy neighbors know all the information that the police need. You just got to know how to let your other neighbors who think you just being in their business, is what we call it, to let them know your purpose, let them know, hey, you have a relationship with the police and you're here to help, not to run their business. Recognize and report suspicious activity and criminal activity. Back to what I said, when there's a suspicious vehicle, person, car, anything, you not know how to report it. Increase personnel and property safety. That's the purpose of building this group, so you can increase your eyes and ears. So you won't be the only, as they say, nosy neighbor. The whole neighborhood would know and be looking out for bad and suspicious crime. You want to make your neighborhood less attractive to crimes. And when I say by that, I always talk about as police lighting. We also talk about your address on your mailbox being reflective, your address on your home. How safe is it for the police to find you? How attractive or how much, let's say, how clean is your neighborhood? Are you calling for criminals to come to you because you have a dark code? Are you calling for criminals because your street lights are out? Those are the things that we talk about and we look for when you start a neighborhood watch. Purpose of to promote positive communication, basically reinstating the same thing. Promote effective response to crime and livability problems. Able to identify problems within the neighborhood. A lot of times, some people are not able to identify. You want a neighborhood watch group, but they're not able to identify the problems. And of course, our number one, which I'm pretty sure is your number one, is to reduce crime around you, especially in your neighborhood. So to start a neighborhood watch, you would contact someone like me, Officer McCraven. I am a coordinator for this precinct. I do have other coordinators. I'm not sure where everyone is from, but I do have the other coordinators' information on the slide as well. So you would contact your local coordinator in your area. So for instance, Austin Peay is the Fraser and Raleigh area, 38128 and 38127. Some 38127 does come in contact with North Main. You will also get your neighbors involved. So it can't just be you to start a neighborhood watch group. I always try to tell everyone you want a board of at least 5 people. You need a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And then of course a neighbor that's not on the board, because they can say, hey, what's going on with the money? And they won't say, hey, just the treasurer alone, they don't have a role. So they're going to probably be the one to ask more questions than the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. But I always tell people at least 5 to start it. So you have 4 people holding a position. The 5th person is kind of an outsider, bystander, to make sure and dictate things go in order because they're not on the board. If that makes sense. I always tell everyone when it comes to, because it's going to be money, money is involved, to make sure that not only one person is able to sign off on the money when it comes to the treasurer, 2 people are. Decide a date, time, and location for meeting. You have to have 3 meetings. The first meeting, second meeting, and third meeting is usually with an officer, or I'm gonna say your coordinator, but some coordinators are civilians. So usually they try to have an officer come as well if you have a civilian coordinator, which means a civilian is just a person who's, I'm gonna say, not a police. And you can meet, I always tell people, since we're locked up on COVID, to meet at your local precinct, meet at a library. But here, some people will meet at their homes. We're not against you meeting at your home. So if you're comfortable with the neighbors coming to your home, then they can meet at your home. But my first choice is to tell any and everyone to meet at the precinct. And once you get your group together of neighbors, then you have your 1, 2, 3 meetings. You will receive a certificate, a certified letter. That letter allows you to apply for a grant, and the grant is $2,500. So here's some of the information that I said that comes in the packet that I have. So I only can speak for Austin Peay. Austin Peay has this paperwork. Everyone should receive most of this, because like the neighborhood watch information sheet, that's normal. The group registration form is what we all have. However, the meeting sign-in sheet is something I created for our groups. Some people don't have it, but it's something that you can automatically have. You don't have to create yourself. The City of Memphis sign, your group, once you become a group, you're allowed to get 1 neighborhood watch sign. That's that blue sign that says neighborhood watch group, beware, neighborhood watch group is in this area. And we'll pay for it. The city does pay for it, but we only pay for 1. Then here's the certified letter on the left side that says City of Memphis, June 21st. This is kind of what that letter looks like, and it basically makes you an official neighborhood watch group. This is what the Leah Roma, the grant coordinator, looks for before she accepts your application. This comes along with your grant application. The next one to the right it doesn't have anything really to do with the group, but we always recommend here at Austin Peay to be a ride along. And a ride along is a person anyone can do it as long as you got a decent background, because we will run your background. You can ride along with an officer at your precinct. Okay, you can do it for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4. But that also gives you a little more insight on how we answer calls, what we consider priority calls, kind of help you get a little more insight on how the police work out in the field when they're coming to your house, when you feel like, hey, they're not helping, or even give you more insight to tell your neighbors, hey, I've actually rode with an officer, and this is how it works. This is what's going on. This is why this is happening. And it's just, and I tell everybody to do Charlie shift or Alpha shift. Charlie or Alpha shift. Bravo shift is okay. That's the morning time. Charlie shift is now 3 to 11, and Alpha shift is 11 p.m. Charlie is 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Alpha is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. You don't have to do the whole time. You can do, like I said, 1 or 2 hours with an officer to just get a little more intake. And it's just something every precinct offers, but there's something we definitely throw into our neighborhood watch groups so they can know, like I said, exactly how we work as officers. Okay, neighborhood watch training. Your training will consist of what's the difference in 911 versus the non-emergency number, which is, I don't have it up here, but it's 901 COPS. This 901-545-2677. 901-545-2677. So that's 545, COPS. 545 cops. The difference in 911, of course, emergency. You're dying. Someone's dying. Gunshot wound. They don't have to be dying, but you think they're about to die. A bad car accident where maybe someone's ejected or you think somebody's trapped in a car. 911. Non-emergency, hey, there's some suspicious people walking. There's a suspicious car. That's the difference. A lot of times people call the wrong number, and guess what? You get pushed over to the non-emergency, and you might be the last one in line under 20 people, and you wondering why, hey, why they're not coming to me? Why they haven't given to me? Or I'm on hold forever because you might have possibly called the wrong number. Something you thought you called 911, but they pushed you over to the 545 cops 2677 number. So that's the difference in that. So you learn, of course, a lot about that. A lot of people have a lot of questions about that as well. And if you do, you can ask me later. Recognizing and reporting suspicious activity. I'm going to show you a slide after this and we'll go more into detail, because my question to you would be, what is suspicious activity? What would you consider suspicious? How do you know who or what is suspicious? The next one, description of a suspect and a vehicle information. They all go hand in hand on reporting suspicious activity. How to improve the safety of your home. So let me show you. How to stay alive during a robbery. That's just a brochure we give, and it talks about how to walk without your phone in your hand, how to pump gas without being on the telephone. It shows you, it talks about how to hold your keys between your fingers. So just in case something does happen, you can use it as an object of an instrument to get someone off of you. It talks about how to not leave products that make people want to rob you, like I say, your purse on the front seat. So when you unlock your doors to get in the car, the first thing they can do is grab your door handle and grab your purse, things of that nature. So that's how to live. Now the slide that I want you to kind of focus in, if you can really see it, suspect description. And if anyone can talk, you can talk. I'll let you talk. This one I want you to talk on. Unmute yourself if you can. If you had to describe me, and I'll stand up. You had to describe me. I got on some blue pants and some black shoes, and I walk away from the screen. Someone give me a description of Officer McCraven, and I'm gonna walk away. Anyone can unmute and give a description of Officer McCraven.
She has shoulder length hair.
Okay.
She wears glasses.
I do.
Wait a minute. And she has blue pants and I think a blue shirt.
Okay. That was pretty good.
Okay.
I don't wear glasses. I'm gonna come. But that was pretty good.
That could have been me. I needed my glasses on.
That was really good. So the thing is, we try to tell people to give a description. Of course, you start from head to toe. And I don't know if y'all was able to see my jewelry, but we try to tell you to give things that people won't take off. I can take off my blue shirt. So if I take off this blue shirt, my shirt up under here might be, I think it's black. So if I take off this blue shirt, now my clothing has changed. But when you said shoulder length hair, that was good. You didn't give a description of my face or my skin complexion. So as you see, you said she, so that means I'm a female. Sex, race, age, height, weight, hat or no hat, hair, eyes, glasses, tattoos, if you can see any, markings, if you can see any, we already said complex teeth. Teeth would have been really good. She had all her teeth, because if they come across somebody with some shorter length hair and missing a tooth, they know that's not the right lady. If you saw any weapons, jewelry, things that people are not going to take off. So especially when we say tattoos, markings, I always say facial structure. If you can say that they have big cheeks, a pointed nose or chubby nose, eyes, round, that's the stuff we're looking for, because that pinpoints that person. You can't see I got nails. So if you could have saw white nails, a watch, things of that matter, that I'm not going to run and pop my nails off. So when they come and contact me, they say, hey, can I shake your hand? I pull my hand out, my nails are still the same. So that's the description. So that was good, because you was able to say exactly what I had on during the crime. But if I change clothes, I might be able to change hair. So things you have to think about that when you're giving information. And this is just something like like I said, how to start a neighborhood watch. This is the information we give our people that we're helping make their neighborhood safe, and how to share this information. So now let's go with a vehicle. So let's say we can use, I was in an MPD car. but we're gonna say the MPD car was black with a busted window and a hubcap missing and a blue bumper. So if you had to describe the car, what did I say it was? What's the make and model if it's a police car? Do anybody know a make and model of a police car?
Dodge, isn't it?
Say it again.
A Dodge.
It is. So to be able to say she was in a Dodge blue or black car with a blue bumper, tags missing, because a lot of times these criminals don't have tags. So to be able to give a full description and give us a quaint detail that stands out, the bumper instead of black is blue, that's a good one. Hubcap missing, window glass broke. Those are the things we're looking for. A lot of times we focus on tags, but nowadays criminals are switching tags, stealing cars, and the tags on one car don't belong to the car they're in. So when you give me the tag to that car might be a gray Chevy Impala. So those are the things you look for and you share with your neighbors. Also on here, I have a house inventory and a firearms inventory. Well, it's not illegal to carry a gun unless you have a bad background. That's a felon. So with that being said, you can carry one on you, in your car, at your home. I tell people, we know people are breaking in cars, stealing firearms. This one with the red is over to the left where the arrow is. That's the firearms. And it's for you to write down your make, model, everything of details about your gun, because when something happens, usually we don't have that paperwork with us. We don't know, we can't remember, we can't find it. And I tell everyone to try to get one sheet, always write it down, take a picture of it. And if you need to add some information, just go, if you need to get another one, add it, or keep the sheet where you add it on here, but always have a picture of it in your phone. The same thing for house inventory. People stealing televisions, they steal your watches, they steal certain things that are valuable to you. And whatever is valuable, you can put it on the house inventory. And if you keep it in a safe place, no matter what happens, when you're in the disarray, you're able to go back and get that paper and tell them, hey, check off this, and this is what's missing. Versus you trying to find it during a historical moment where you're not thinking straight. You're just mad and upset that someone has broken into your home. Like I said, all this information does come in our packet. Resources. People do not know about things like additional patrol. So an additional patrol, or some people call it directed patrol, is, and it's open to anyone. This is not just because you start a neighborhood watch group. You're allowed to call your closest precinct and tell them, hey, I have had this report, or I've had this suspicious activity. I've seen young men walking. I've seen a car sitting around going in circles, cutting donuts, speeding, whatever your complaint may be in your neighborhood. You can call your closest precinct and ask for an additional or directed patrol. It lasts for 2 weeks. What they would do the day you call and report it, from that date, 2 weeks out, they will have officers check your area at their convenience. So if you don't live in a busy area where I would say a lot of crime is happening, they should at least come by there 3 times at different times. And that's because we have 3 different shifts. So they won't come by there, every hour on the hour, but you should at least see one during Bravo shift time, which is in the morning. You should see one at midday on Charlie shift, and maybe you should see one definitely at nighttime on Alpha shift. So that's just to keep you safe. And the goal in all of this is you just tell them that you're seeing a problem, you have a problem, and you want to beef up the patrol in your area, because maybe the officer not coming through there. Maybe they're just going from call to call to call, and you need them to pay a little attention to your neighborhood, because that does help deter crime. The next one is a vacation watch. It's the same thing, but it's only you're going on vacation. So if you go on vacation and you feel like, hey, some people have been hanging out, I don't feel like my home is going to be safe while I'm going, you can ask for a vacation watch, and you give us the date you're leaving and the date you're coming back. So if we do come check your area and you're home, we don't walk up on you walking to the mailbox or you getting out of the car and nothing bad happening to you. So they both go hand in hand, but it's definitely to keep you safe. And a lot of people don't know that. So we, like I said, share this information, of course, with our neighborhood watch groups, because we want to keep you safe. Cyber watch is another thing, but it's only when you start a neighborhood watch. The first 2 is anytime anyone can use. Cyber watch is a link they give you where you know about all the crime in your area. 211 and 311 are more so you call about code problems. You can call and give them police problems too, like an abandoned vehicle is sitting, it's been sitting for months and months and months, and no one has came and did anything about it. You can call, put it in 311, 211. but it's mostly a lot of people do cold things. There's a hole in the street. Hey, the light pole is out, and you're scared. You know, your neighborhood is not safe. Things like that. Nextdoor app is something that I know is popular, that a lot of people use to get crime, because I know we use it. And if you have a Ring camera too, I don't have it on here, but if you have a Ring camera, it kind of works like Nextdoor app as well, where all the alerts come to your phone under a Ring camera. And so I tell people I can't promote it, but I can throw it out there because we use it personally, that a Ring camera is really good because it works like the Nextdoor app, and it still protects your neighborhood as far as keeping up with crime. And it's something you can use. If something happens, you can record, or you can play it back, and it comes to your phone. So it's just something helpful. And we tell people, I give people ideas, because when you have $2,500, it's like, hey, what do we supposed to do with this money? What can we do? And that's one of the things, you know, you might want to invest in and look into. We always tell people cameras always help. Cameras and lighting. So right here to the left, this is the CyberWatch email that you would use, and you would send your neighborhood watch that at the beginning. It was a group registration form. You would send that to this link, and they will start sending you emails. And you can share, and you can add other emails on there if there are other neighbors you want to receive events and messages and things of that sort. The right is the one that I told you about. It's called the Vacation Watch. To the left, far the bottom, is the additional patrol. And to the right also is the City Watch enrollment form. So you have to fill this form out as well. And it's just telling you your residence, address, phone number, email, and your intersections. Neighborhood Watch grant. So a lot of people start, of course, a neighborhood watch. One is to protect their neighborhood, but two, they also want to get $2,500, and you really can get more. So the grant workshop is led by a young lady, Leah Romer, and I have her email address. I'll show you later. Well, no, it's down here. Sorry. She's down here at the bottom. This is her email address. The best way to contact her is via email. But you have to attend one workshop, not your whole entire group. Just one person within your group has to attend a workshop. The workshop actually teaches you how to fill out this grant application, and you're going to need help because it's probably like 15 to 16 pages. It asks for a lot of information. It's not hard information, but you will have questions. And she goes page by page with this application because she wants everyone to get the $2,500. So this was, of course, deadline for this grant workshop. Is actually coming up. If it's not, it might be about to expire this week. Yeah, it's about to expire this week. But the deadline is November of this week. And of course, I said the amount is $2,500. But I also want to tell you that you can get it twice a year. So you can get $2,500 twice, which is $5,000. Once if you do apply for $2,500 and then $2,500 and receive $5,000, you have to sit out 1 year, just 1 year. Once you sit out that 1 year, you're able to reapply for $2,500 again and again. So every other year you can get up to $5,000, and you're allowed to do whatever you deem or think your neighborhood needs to be safe. And I'll give you a few examples. Some people have done greenery. When I say done landscaping, we've had people start lawnmower businesses because they want to help the yards, keep the yards down, keep the grass down, weeds out the area. We've had people do, of course, cameras. We've had people put those that are really pretty, those light poles in the front of their yard that stand alone to bring a little more light to their neighborhood. We've had people, of course, add more neighborhood watch signs because they pay for them personally out of the grants. Let me think. There are numerous of ideas and different things that you can do, as long as you can deem your neighborhood safe and your board members and your group agrees upon that, then everything is fine. But I'm gonna tell you one thing I know a lot of groups always kind of go back and forth with are cameras. Well, I tell people, everyone always wants a camera on their home. The camera on your home is not always the camera that catches the crime. A lot of times the camera across the street from you, maybe the camera next door to you, because I can tell you I have a doorbell camera and it sees two of my neighbors' home. It only gets my front yard, but my neighbors' front, side, north, east, west, the whole side of their home. So if anybody even just goes and walks on their property, I can get a very good description of that person from my camera. Versus when they come to my house, all I receive is when they first walk up. If they walk up fast, it might catch them, it might not. If they walk over to the right, too far to the right, they're out of sight. So I tell people all the time, people worry about, oh, I want one on my home, and you might just don't want to push for your home. You might need to push for your neighbor across the street to get one on their home. So I tell people, you definitely want your neighbors involved, because them being involved helps protect your home as well, just with something simple as a camera. So this is just a flyer of the Neighborhood Watch Grant Workshop. It is virtual. I didn't tell you that it is virtual. This is their link, but we will have to let you know when the next one starts. I think the next fiscal year is usually next year around February, March of next year. I know the deadline is May for sure. I do know the deadline is May for next year. But this is the flyer, and usually the information doesn't change. So this is the workshop. It's just the dates will change. And then here are the Neighborhood Watch precinct coordinators. So if you stay in Airway Station, your coordinator is April Colbert. There's her phone number. That's her email. If you're at Appleton Farms, we have Vita Seagal. Her phone number as well. Crump, Mama Rao, North Main, Austin P, Rains, Ridgeway, Tillman. And if you don't know where you stay, please feel free to call me, and I can give you that information. Of course, I am Officer McCraven, and that's my phone number, my email address, if you can see it. I'm down here. I'm the 636-4395. And my first name is Dominique.McCraven@memphistn.gov. So if you don't know exactly what area you stay in, I can definitely give you that information. Be alert. Are there any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
I was just typing out a question, but I'll ask instead. Mouth is faster. I live in a condominium. We have nosy neighbors, all right, but can we have 40 units in the condominium building. Can we become our own neighborhood watch, legitimate neighborhood watch group?
Yes, ma'am, you can. So I didn't tell you, condominiums, townhouses, churches, and business can be neighborhood watches. So yes, you don't just have to be, yes, a church can be a neighborhood watch group. A business can have a neighborhood watch group. No matter where you live, you can have a neighborhood watch group. Long as you have the people on board with you. You can't be by yourself. So long as you can, out of that 40, if you have 10, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got another question, but I'll wait if somebody else wants to go.
Go ahead. I don't see anyone unmuted.
Steve Schuler from the government sent out a press release today. And tell me if you're familiar with this. We have a camera system here, a lot of cameras in the parking lot and all that. And apparently, Memphis Police is starting a program where if you want, you can give the Memphis Police Department access to your camera system. If they need your video for a crime that's been committed, they will ask you if they can utilize it. But are you familiar with that? And if you are, what are your thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. So it's definitely something new. So of course, you know, something new, good and bad things come out of it. It's a trial and error. I say it's good because we need the cameras. We're able to watch them. So I'm gonna use this for example. We have the James Bridge Apartments. We're thinking we're gonna be able to catch some guys who have been breaking and stealing cars because they're called flock cameras. We're able to watch these flock cameras at different times. They're binging at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, when mostly normal hours, those are people's sleeping time, where we're able to see these 2 young men and these Dodge Chargers coming in and being trailed by a third car. We're thinking that third car is a stolen car. And so we're able to find out things like that with those cameras. And if we needed to get more information, and say you live, just say you lived in the James Bridge, we would come to you and to your camera, because maybe we can see them in your area, because we can't go to them, but we can see maybe you live next door, and we would come to you and ask you, hey, can we pull some camera footage? As long as you say, okay, we will pull it, and maybe we can get some information. Maybe we can get closer up pictures and videos of them because they live next door to you. And we'll tell you what's going on. We'll tell you to be safe, and we'll make sure you're safe when we do it, because we don't want them to come and say, hey, you know, retaliate against you because they might see us there pulling your camera system. A lot of times I will tell people for that reason, without retaliation, if you can pull it and bring it to us, it will be wonderful, because if they live that close to you, you don't want them to see us in your area, if that makes sense. So that's the good with the bad, but they are excellent because we're able to, without at 2 o'clock waking you up in the morning, telling you we can kind of we can start our trail of paperwork. Because I'm able to tell you that I know for a fact these 2 guys that are in the James Bridge have hit in Lakeland, Whitehaven, East Memphis, and have stole probably 20 cars. We just got to get them. So that's what they're doing. So with us having flight cameras where we can have full access into them, we can have access any time of the day and night. So that's the plus. The bad thing, if I need to come pull your camera because you're close to that camera, then the safety issue kind of arises.
Okay.
Anything else? I'm here. I got all the answers. I'll help you. I promise.
Any more questions? Well, are you sure? Going once, twice? All right. Well, we want to
Dominique?
thank Officer. Go
Dominique,
ahead.
I'm sorry. What is the best way to get in touch with you for any further questions?
Email me, please.
Is it-
Because I
Okay.
never, because as they stated, Mr. Sherm stated, one of my events are coming up, the Turkey Trot with Cops. And so I'm ripping and running for that event. This week is this weekend. So yes. So the best is email. That's with me 24/7.
Okay. And we'll also have her information on our website, as well as I think it's in the chat. But we want to thank you, Officer McCraven. This has been quite informative. Please, 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 if you want to start a neighborhood watch, do so. Police can't do this by themselves. We can't do it by ourselves as neighbors. But if we work together, we can make this low light, build a better, safer, cleaner city of Memphis, somewhere we can live, work, and play.
Hi, I have
Thank
a
you.
question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I came in a little late, so this may have been covered in the beginning. If we want to see patterns of crime, let's say by zip code or in the neighborhood, how will we access that? I know it's something with the police department, and I actually live in unincorporated Shelby County in Cordova. For example, we had 6 car break-ins, like maybe last week or the week before that. It could have been the guy that did the 90 break-ins in Lakeland, Arlington. I don't know. I saw something about that in Newsbreak. But how could we monitor criminal activity in the area?
So you definitely need to start a neighborhood watch group. The reason why I say that, because you have access to this thing called CyberWatch. CyberWatch allows you to get all information of crime in a certain radius of your neighborhood. It's just as simple. Other than that, you can contact, you said unincorporated, you have to contact Shelby County. I don't know who you get in contact with Shelby County, but they should have a crime analysis. Like that's what I do here. A crime analysis person, and they can pull that data for you. But they won't, I can tell you now, I'm guarantee they won't pull it all the time. They'll just give it to you maybe once or twice, just to say FYI. But they're not real easy on just giving out the information, if that makes sense. But guess what? If you're a neighborhood watch group, something that they can say they're not giving this information to, I'm gonna say a criminal, if it's the nicest way to say it, then they'll give it to you. Like we have meetings monthly where we share that data here. 38127 and 38128. I can tell you all the crimes here left and right, how many break-ins, how many aggravated assaults, how many DVs, even in apartments. I break it down as far as all the way to apartments. So that's just a plus. That's one of the pluses to start a neighborhood watch group.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what I was looking for.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Anybody else? Well, again, thank you guys for attending. This is the 11th how-to for the Division of Housing and Community Development. We want to thank our, again, Officer McCraven for joining us this evening and providing this valuable information. I'll say this, as my grandfather always says, many hands make this load light.
Yep.
So in the city of Memphis, it takes all of us working together to make the load lighter for all of us. If there are no more questions, we will have this presentation on our website. We want to continue to support our Memphis Police Department, neighborhood watch coordinators, and all of the divisions in the city of Memphis, as well as our communities. So we thank you all. If there's nothing else, everybody have a good evening. And thank you, Miss Joanne Street. Joanne is one of the neighbors that really work together with the neighborhood watch and neighborhood watch grant. I see Miss Ola Hughes on here. And these ladies have really worked hard and done some wonderful things in their communities. I think Joanne has gotten a couple of those neighborhood watch grants. And I know she's done some work in the park over off of Springdale, Gooch Park. They use some of that. They help some of the children. So it works. And if you become a neighborhood watch leader, I think that that's going to help your communities, our communities, to be safer. So once again, our hats off to you, Officer McCraven, for all the work that you guys do. No, it's not easy, but we thank you for your service. And we just appreciate everybody. Thanks to the one, thanks to Housing Community Development, thanks to everybody. So having said all of that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.